everyone, my name's Sophie and I'm a deaf partner of hearing dog Rusty, who is with me today, but he's laying fast asleep next to me. I'll try and show you. Obviously, being a hard-working hearing dog is exhausting and tiring, even though he's not actually doing much at the moment because we're in lockdown. But I'm here today to say a huge thank you to all of the volunteers for hearing dogs and to tell you a little bit about how your hard work has made a difference to my life. I was born with full hearing, no hearing troubles at all, but as I went through my childhood, I suffered a lot with recurrent ear infections and illness. And it was when I was about 17 that I got fitted with my first hearing aid. But I didn't let it bother me much. I was able to adapt to it quite well. My number one passion in life was music, and I was at the time going through the process of applying to do music at university, at the conservatoires or auditions all around the country. And at the time I remember talking to my consultant and saying, is this a stupid thing for me to pursue when my ears are not very reliable? And he said, oh no, it's childhood issues, you'll grow out of them. You know, it shouldn't get any worse. So I pursued with my career, and I graduated first from Trinity College of Music, and then I went on to the Royal Academy of Music as an operatic singer. And just as my career was sort of starting out, I unfortunately became quite unwell again, and my hearing deteriorated further. And it was quite a significant drop in my hearing, and I got fitted with 2 superpower hearing aids, which were good for helping me to understand speech, but they were not good with music. And hearing aids are just an aid, so they don't help in really noisy situations. And I began to struggle more and more. And one of my problems was I was in my early 20s and I was trying to find my independence, living alone without, you know, parents or friends around. And my audiologist was saying to me not to wear my hearing aids so much because I was getting a lot of recurrent ear infections. But that left me really, really vulnerable at home, which was the only place I felt I could get away with not wearing my hearing aids. And there were a couple of incidents where I couldn't sleep because I was feeling very anxious, not being able to hear, not being able to see once the lights were off, where I was sat at the front door waiting for a delivery, knowing I was expecting a delivery at some point that morning, but wouldn't hear the doorbell. And at my next audiology appointment, I was discussing how I was feeling and how actually I was finding myself withdrawing from a lot of the normal things that I used to do. Obviously, in my early 20s, my friends, our social life was going out to clubs and bars and things, and I just didn't feel I could join in any of that. And the audiologist mentioned hearing dogs for deaf people, and I'd never heard of that charity, that organisation before, and kind of thought, okay, I'm not sure a dog's an answer to all my problems, but let's have a little look. And I went along to the Grange to an open day, kind of information day for recipients. And from the moment I walked into the Grange and realised that all the staff were completely deaf aware, like when I'm at the Grange, life is not a struggle. Everybody knows how to communicate with me. And the penny dropped, and I sat in these presentations, and when they demonstrated what the dogs could do, I think it was a Labrador called Robin, which I'm sure some of you might remember and know. I found myself getting incredibly emotional because I realised that all the practical challenges I was having, a hearing dog could be the answer. So I put in my application and was assessed, and fast forward a couple of years, I mean, it was a longer wait than I'd hoped, I'm not going to lie. But when they introduced me to Rusty, I, cried basically for about half an hour. I couldn't pull myself together. We had our sort of test couple of days together, and Rusty's now been with me for 5.5 years. He came into my life because I thought I needed help with practical issues, hearing the doorbell, getting up in the morning, hearing the alarm clock, being safe, hearing the fire alarm, all of which Rusty's fabulous at. His sound work is really spot on. But within almost minutes of him being by my side in his uniform and we're out and about, I realised that he brought so much more. He helped with the emotional side of having a hearing loss. He helped with the social struggles of having a hearing loss. It used to be that if I was out and about travelling, like on the train or on the tube in London, I'd get pushed and shoved because I hadn't heard that people needed to get past. And of course, they just thought I was ignoring them. Hearing loss is an invisible disability. And as soon as Rusty was by my side in his uniform, whilst not everybody knows what a hearing dog is, they can see the dogs by your side and they're reading the jacket and they're kind of putting two and two together. And I realised very quickly that people will become more tolerant, more patient, more understanding. And as a result, I refer to him as my fluffy neon sign that I've got a hearing loss. He also built my confidence talking about hearing loss, so that when there are difficulties, I feel I can talk openly about the fact that I have a profound hearing loss and that I'm reliant on hearing aids. And he's the conversation starter on that, because everybody's interested in him and they want to know about his uniform and what he does for me. So that kind of social aspect of having a hearing dog is absolutely invaluable, and it's something I really underestimated when I applied to get a hearing dog. And the third thing that I mentioned was the emotional side. When you have a profound hearing loss, life is a struggle some days. Like, I'm pretty clued up. I've got really good hearing aids. I've got all sorts of bits of tech. I've got Rusty by my side. But there are still struggles. There are misunderstandings, some of which you can laugh off, and some of which have major implications on what you might have been trying to achieve that day. And it's very easy to be flattened by that and get quite down and depressed. In the middle of me losing my hearing, I actually did lose my job for a while, and I was out of work for about 6 months. And had I not had Rusty by my side, I'm not sure I would have got through that 6 months. Those of you that have got a dog or no dogs, or any animal, I guess, will know that you can't ignore them. They want to get up, they want to have their breakfast, they want to go for a walk, they give you your purpose, and you know, he needs me to look after him as much as I need him to look after me. And for that reason, the positive impact on my mental well-being, again, I can't put a price on. It's been just absolutely invaluable, because if I'm moping, he'll appear with his waggy tail and some ridiculous toy in his mouth and soon cheer me up. Obviously, life isn't static. So I've had Rusty 5.5 years, things change. The support from the charity is ongoing. I've since met my now husband. We got married, we've moved house, I've started a new job, and all of that comes with support from my partnership instructor. And obviously we need to make sure that Rusty's gonna cope with all those things as best he can. He's absolutely a shining star. Like he's a real golden boy. And at the moment, even just last night, I was worrying through lockdown, oh, he's not been to the shops in his uniform, and maybe we won't be going to the shops in uniform because we're in the vulnerable category. And my husband said, "You are worrying about nothing, Sophie. Rusty will fly through this transition just like he has with everything else." He, I say, he's fast asleep here next to me now, but he is just so brilliant here at home looking after me. And none of that would be the case if it wasn't for everyone that's involved at Hearing Dogs. Every volunteer, whether or not you're involved with the puppies or not, you contribute to the charity in your own special way. And that's really important. and Rusty wouldn't be here by my side looking after me in the way that he does if it wasn't for you. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much. And I really hope you all have a really Merry Christmas, despite the regulations we find ourselves living with. And to finish on a really happy note, hopefully, I am about to become a mum, and there'll be a baby appearing on the scene. And I know that Rusty will support me with that, just like he has supported me with everything else. And I was going to get him up to say hello, but he seems to have gone into full relaxation mode now. So I think I won't disturb him. But if you are interested in Rusty and you're on social media, he has his own Instagram account, which I'm his PA for, and I get in trouble if I don't post often enough. But if you put in Rusty the hearing dog, you'll be able to keep up with Rusty's life and how he continues to support me every day. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.